She's not ready to laugh. You're not ready to laugh. Oh, who's ready to laugh? Who's ready to laugh? Who's ready to laugh? Who wants to laugh? Who wants to laugh? Who wants to laugh? You got me laughing here tonight. Yes, we're ready to laugh. Who wants to laugh next? It's a stand-up comedy act. We have to laugh. Are you guys listening to me? Who wants to laugh? Want to laugh? You want to laugh? Okay, you were singing earlier. Can you sing a laugh? Come on. It's an open mic. It's open for anybody. Sing it, sing it, sing it. Sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it. I'll do my little. If I make her laugh, she will sing. Well, she will not be singing tonight. Not with my set. Okay. So, I'm so glad we're finally having a show in the Starbucks. It is my favorite spot on campus. I love Starbucks, which is just a super lame thing to say, right? You know, like just a terrible personality trait. You know, it's like, oh, I love movies. Oh, I like to skateboard. You know, it's like, I like to give my money to one specific corporation. The money I don't have is spent at a coffee shop daily. Yes, you understand. Well, I love Starbucks so much, I actually went to work for one. Yeah, yes, a former barista. I have any baristas in the house? Former, past, present, future? Yes, we have a few. We have a few lovers of coffee. I think I'm one of the few people who worked at the Starbucks I worked at because they actually liked coffee and not just because they couldn't do anything with their Bachelor of Arts. I also can't do anything with my Bachelor of Arts. So it's a double-edged sword. I think that's how that expression works, right? No, but being a barista is an incredibly difficult job. People do not give it enough credit. No, not at all. So what you don't realize, and I mean this only in a very scientific sense, is that as a barista, you are legally a drug dealer. You deal drugs. But you're the only drug dealer that has to both sell the drug, and then once you sell it, go into the back and make it afterwards. It's a lot of pressure. Can you imagine orchestrating some sort of opiate deal, taking the last $20 out of some addict's wallet, and then telling them, please, just wait one moment, sir, I'll have that right out for you. He wants it now. We all want it now. And so baristas are constantly up against the clock. It's a long and lonely and kind of miserable life sometimes. But you do it because you love the people you work with. But sometimes that means you see people at their highest, you know, you get a relish in their accomplishments, and all of your baristas, if you go enough, they'll get to know you, and they'll get to really cherish you. And I think that's special. But you also see people at their lowest point. The points where they are stretched beyond, like, a doubt of despair. I had one such person who came into my coffee shop while I was working all alone, and told me something that rocked me to my core. He came up to me and I did my Starbucks thing. I'm like, hi, welcome to Starbucks, what can I get for you? And he's like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm like, oh. And I saw he had a suitcase. And I'm like, oh, well, where'd you come in from? You know, you traveling? You know, like here for some fun? He's like, well, no, I'm from California. I'm like, ooh, fun, California. He said, yeah, well, you know, the wildfires are going on and my house kind of burned down. And so I didn't even have time to pack anything up. I just had to get into my car and leave. I just kept driving until I couldn't drive anymore. And now I'm here. I said, oh! You're here talking to me and it's on my shoulders now. Well, what can I get you? That's the only question I can ask in this situation, right? What can I get you? Like a dutiful servant I am. I can only ask robotic. And he's like, you know, I was gonna order a coffee, but since you made me talk about that, I feel pretty down, you know. So I'm just gonna get a venti water. I'm like, buddy, it's a little late to be getting the water now, don't you think? It's just ashes at this point, my friend. I mean, you should have asked for a Trenta. Your Mentos not gonna do it. But I mean, can we get, you know, like I hate to joke about things that of a serious nature because like the fires, California's still on fire, yes. It's a new fire, but it's on fire all of it right now, right? Any Californios? Yes, California, yes. Redding, Glendale, all our favorite cities in California. Sure, I represented here tonight. No, the fires are going on. I think we're all genuinely deeply moved and hoping, you know, for the best for the people affected by the fire. But, you know, I start to wonder, are we not giving the fire enough credit? You know, for being a really good fire. The entire state's on fire. You know, you hear it on the news. The news people say California is on fire. That's an impressive statement. That's a shocking statement. But we doubt it because, like, imagine if they had said, oh, you know, Rhode Island, Vermont, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, Maryland, Massachusetts, West Virginia, they're all on fire at once, and it's the same fire. That would sound really impressive, right? If someone said that on the news, that'd be the Michael Jordan of fires. It has so many rings. But that fire would be less big than a fire that has all of California on fire by landmass. It just sounds less impressive because California is only one stupidly large state on fire. And so the fire doesn't sound that cool. We need to give the fire a little bit more credit, is my opinion. Yes, agree? She's ready to laugh. Anyone else? She left so she wouldn't have to sing or laugh. I am impressed. Only one, well, perhaps a few things. Are you gonna kick me out? Which one of you throws me through the glass window when the set's done? All right, I'm ready. No, okay. You guys checked the news recently? You see that Michael Bloomberg is gonna announce that he's running for presidency? You guys know who Michael Bloomberg is? Exactly! Michael Bloomberg is a former mayor of New York, I think. Another former mayor of New York, I think. And he's handling running for president like I handle turning in a discussion post. Late and ill-conceived. He saw the debates on stage and he was sitting at home on his couch in his underwear and he looked at the screen and he said, I can do that.
Trump did the same thing.
Trump, yeah. And I did the same thing when I started thinking I could do stand-up comedy. I looked on the screen and I said, I could do that. And I had no idea how wrong I was. But, anyway, I feel like, one man can only hold a crowd's attention for so long. You all have much, much more important things to be doing on Thursday night. So I just wanna get you guys involved too because it's an open mic, you know. I wanna make sure everyone's into this. Is anyone here, did any of you suckers like me buy a coffee? Yeah, what'd you order? What'd you order? Chestnut praline frappuccino. Did you order it recently? 7, so while the show was going on? That's interesting because one thing you guys don't realize about performing at a Starbucks is that often the greatest heckler is the blender. Going off during our show. But no, the chestnut praline latte is a defined drink. As someone who has tasted and made every single drink that you could possibly imagine, the chestnut praline is definitely the best one to order if you are 60 years old. It is a classic. It is a classic in the sense that it combines two nuts that no one wants anymore. From a different decade. Who else got a drink tonight? Yeah? Free water! Look at this man, a man of culture. He wasted some barista's time for a free water. Water is everywhere and it's almost always free, but he wanted it from here. Anyone else want to volunteer a drink they got? Chai tea latte? A chai tea latte, was it iced or hot? Hot? The Bailey, yes, Bailey, for the voice, for the vocals. I respect that decision. I have really nothing to say with that. Good job, Tyler. Good job. I'll take one more if anyone's got one. If not, I'll leave. This is a good test because no one will volunteer if they really want to go. Chai means tea in Hindi. Well, I think, I agree. I agree that's repetitive, but maybe it's also really, really powerful. Like, you want the barista to know what you're getting. I want a tea latte. It better be tea. I'm doubling down on this decision. What do you think? Opinion? Yes, no? Ah, yeah, it's like, I want a tea. I want the Hindu word for tea. But I also want to remind you that I'm not Hindu. I ordered a latte, yeah. Awesome, all right. I'm out of here, folks.